Brilliance Audio.
Brilliance Audio presents Life in Every Breath, Ester Blenda, Reporter, Adventurer, Pioneer, by Fatima Bremmer. Translated by Gloria Naoma Onwuneme. Performed by Laura Jennings. Walpurgis Night, 1914. Her gaze lifted from the train window and settled on her hands. The brown cotton gloves were brand new. This was the first time she'd worn them. The gold band on her ring finger gleamed under the thin fabric. She couldn't remember his name. Svensson? Andersson? It took a few seconds to come back to her. Karlsson. Bernhard Karlsson. She was still annoyed at the silly name she'd chosen, but it had already been engraved. Your Bernhard, 12/24/12. Ester Nordstro took off her gloves, wrung her hands, inspected her narrow fingers and palms critically. She'd deep-cleaned a car engine before leaving, deliberately let the oil and dirt seep into the pores and lines of her skin. She had hoped that it would make more of a difference. They still looked too delicate, too much like a city girl's hands, spared from physical labor. Would they blow her cover? Anxiety danced in her chest. She couldn't concentrate. Her thoughts raced as the rain pattered against the train window and formed long, irregular channels in the dirty brown coating. Outside, several Stockholm landmarks and neighborhoods passed by her window. Next to her seat was a bunch of flowers from friends who had just waved her off at Stockholm Central Station. They waved their arms, laughed and screamed as the train slowly began to roll south. It had felt like such a fun idea at first, an adventure, and Stormberg, editor at the national daily Svenska Dagbladet, had been instantly intrigued when Ester told him about her unique holiday plans, having caught a whiff of a scintillating story with his experienced nose for news. Ester was his bravest reporter. She did the unexpected, and the readers loved it. Her reports and columns, all signed Bonsai, had become topics of conversation all around the country. Among other journalists, she was known for being outspoken and bold. Ester liked it. It was a role that appealed to her. Instant employment for a maid, accustomed to performing household chores and willing and able to milk cows. Tanninga Farm, general delivery, Nyköping. Farmer Anton Holtz's job ad for a new maid at Jojersta North Farm. Excerpt from Ed Pinska som pika, svar av Bonnie Tanninga. A newswoman for a maid. Response by a farmer in Tanninga by Anton Holtz. It was sheer coincidence that had brought together this particular advertisement, maid vacancy, and southbound train on which the 23-year-old Ester Nordstro was sitting, on her way to Sörmland County, not feeling quite as confident and excited as she would have liked. There were countless similar vacancies around the country. It had been simply a matter of choosing one of the many farmers in desperate need of female servants. Ester herself had written articles about the so-called maid problem. It was a topic that had already been hotly debated for years. In one of her interviews, she had quoted a woman saying that, "It's no wonder that young women don't want to become maids nowadays. They're all basically forced to become slaves." She had also been closely following the Immigration Commission, a significant undertaking that politicians began after the Swedish exodus. Between 1851 and 1910, nearly 1 million Swedes had left for the other side of the Atlantic, in pursuit of happiness and a new life. Many were young women of working age. They preferred to move to America or take up jobs in city factories than work on some farm in their own home country. The commission had, among other things, established that emigration deprives the agricultural industry of its required workforce. According to the Swedish Master and Servant Act of 1833, farmers had the power to independently decide on what suitable working hours meant and could exercise the same rights over their employees as they could over their own family. They even had the legal right to use corporal punishment on servants under the age of 16.